Hi, you guys. Thanks for listening in to this episode of Tips with T. On today, I have Miss Nancy with us. Hey, Miss Nancy, how you doing?
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being on the show. Very interested in what you're going to share with us today. But before we get into it, tell us more about yourself and what you do.
Of course, once again, thanks for having me. And my name is Nancy Badillo, and I'm actually an Etsy coach, and I help Etsy sellers and small business owners leverage the power of branding and social media to kind of scale their business to the next level. And I also have an actual course where I teach how to do this. And I have like a YouTube channel where I have a lot of videos for Etsy sellers to help them with their business, as well as I have a couple Etsy shops as well.
Awesome. Awesome. So, how was your journey of becoming an entrepreneur? What led to you being a full-time entrepreneur now?
To be quite honest, it wasn't something that I wanted to do. It was almost like in 2007 when the market went down.
Mm-hmm.
I lost my home. I was a young adult with a home,
Mm-hmm.
and I lost my home, and I started Googling online how to make money online because I have heard of people making money online. And I started doing that, Googling. I started learning about blogging, affiliate marketing. I used to create a blog and then flip it and sell it. And to be quite honest, my entrepreneur journey really didn't start off like other people, like within 6 months that were making money online. It took me years
Mm-hmm.
to make money online. It was a lot of trial and failure. I would try this and fail, try that and fail, try this and fail. So it took me years. But then when I started making money, it wasn't enough for me to quit my full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would have a good month and then like 3 bad months and another good month. And a good month was like maybe $1,000, 2,000. It wasn't enough to pay my bills, my rent, and everything else that came. So it was a lot of that. It was a lot of bumps in the road, trying to learn all these things, trying to have a full-time job, trying to do this on the side as a full-time job as well. Sacrificing a lot, right? Not
Mm-hmm.
work, not going out on the weekends, not having a life pretty much.
Right.
And so then about 4 to 5 years in, I started making a little bit more money consistently. And I was making more money on affiliate marketing. And from there, in 2014, I got engaged to my husband. And someone told me, you should check out Etsy because they sell a lot of stuff for weddings. And I never heard of Etsy before. And I was like, let me check it out. I went in there. I was already a digital marketer. So I had like just going in there and just looking at other stores. I was like, wow, these people are making a lot of money or making passive income selling like digital goods because I ended up buying like digital products. And that's kind of how my journey started with Etsy.
Mm-hmm.
I did a case study about Etsy on my blog. And a year later, I made like over 21,000 on Etsy without really having any experience with it before. But that's kind of how my journey started in the whole entrepreneur journey.
Well, that's good. That's cool. So, tell us more about Etsy because, like, I know a lot of people they want to get that passive income. So, how exactly did you use Etsy? I know you said you made um, wedding products, but how exactly did you use Etsy um, to get that passive income?
Of course. So the way that you could make passive income through Etsy is that you could sell digital products that when the customer buys the product from you, whether it's a wedding sign or whatever digital product you could create. So you could create anything from stickers, planners, invites, wedding signs, baby shower stuff, anything like that. When you create the product, the customer buys it from you, they download it, and then they edit the file and they print it out themselves. So that's considered a digital product because I'm not actually mailing out the customer the tangible item.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that I made money through it was I first originally started selling quotes on Etsy using Word document and creating quotes there. And because of infringement and intellectual property, I switched my niche to the wedding and party events. That's how I kind of started with that. And that's how I make passive income. I technically create the file
Mm-hmm.
and I upload it to Etsy. People buy it from Etsy and they do everything else themselves. They edit the file, they print it out, they take it to Kinko's or FedEx, they print it out, and that's how I make passive income on Etsy.
Awesome. Now, do the files have to be editable files, or can they be PDF files, or does it matter?
It doesn't matter, to be quite honest. You can make whatever you want. So I have two variations of files that I currently sell. I sell some file. Well, there's three types. Instant download, which means that you finish the product. Let's say they buy a financial sheet from you.
Mm-hmm.
The product is finished. All they're doing is downloading and printing themselves at home, and that's all they're doing. You could also do an editable file, which means that you could get the information from the customer. So the customer will give you the wedding information. You
Mm-hmm.
edit for them. You show them a proof. They approve it. They say, oh, that looks good. And then you send them the final file through email or through Etsy. Or you could create, like what you mentioned, an editable file, which means that you could do like using a company like template
Mm-hmm.
.com or cordial.com, or using Acrobat, Adobe, you could create a PDF file that the customer could download, and they would do all the edits. And again, they will print it out and take care of everything else from their end. So those are kind of the three files that you could do.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Awesome. So, were you able to use Etsy to take your store to the next level?
Well, with Etsy, what's great about it is has a built-in traffic. So when you use Etsy versus when you use like a standalone website, with Etsy, if you are, really new to the digital space, you don't really know how to market yourself, Etsy actually really helps you, because when you first list your listings, you get priority over other listings. And when you are putting your listings on Etsy, it already has, like I said, that built-in traffic. So
Mm-hmm.
as long as you optimize your listings correctly for SEO, and you have a niche product, like your store is very niche down, you don't have too many variations of too many things, you're pretty off to a good start. Now, I do recommend that once you have your store running, not to only depend on the traffic on Etsy, but also build a brand around it. So making sure that eventually you open an Instagram account, a Facebook account, a Pinterest account, you start doing email marketing for your store. But as a new Etsy seller, it's a great platform because they give you traffic automatically, which is great.
Yeah, that is great. That is great.
Hmm.
Um, so what other digital products can be sold on Etsy? I know you say wedding, but what are other things that you have seen that people actually sold that they might think, hey, I didn't think about I can be able to sell that on Etsy.
Yeah, so the three types of products that you can make, that you could sell, are handmade items, anything handmade, vintage, and craft supplies. Those are the three things. And the things that I seen after I started, because originally, like I told you, I was a digital marketer. I had experience with like growing your social media presence, growing your brand, growing your email marketing. That was kind of like my thing, affiliate marketing.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't have experience with printables or digital products or the things that you could sell. So the things that surprised me were Snapchat filters. There's stores that make over six figures selling filters for Snapchat. People buy them. They're custom made. They buy them for weddings, parties, whatever event, graduations. That's a big one. Another one is banners. Those banners that you put in, you take pictures in front of, like photo booth banners.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like 10 by 10 inch, and they're like kind of like a square. Those do really, really well, even as a digital product. Like people sell them for like $20. I have a couple of my stores as well that I sell. So those are really popular. And another one is filters for Instagram. People that are in that field, they know how to create filters. Obviously, I don't know how to create those, but they make a killing as well. Those are very popular, but I didn't think of those ideas.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think someone could create a store of Snapchat filters and sell them for like $9.99 each and make over 100 grand a year with that, which is
Wow.
crazy. And
That
you
is-
don't have to ship anything out. They buy it, they download it. It's very easy too
mhm.
to make, and it's very easy to maneuver in the sense that once the customer buys, they download it instantly, unless it's like an edit file that they have to customize real quick for them.
Mhm. Awesome. Now, when you're creating your own files with Etsy, do they allow you to like use your brand, like your logo, if you would like? Like, I don't, you know, if you would like to do so on your actual product, so you can get yourself and raise awareness out there to maybe create an audience or gain another customer without, um, for another services not on Etsy.
Yeah, they kind of do and don't. So the reason why I say they don't is because if you occasionally they'll pick a store, they pick random stores to be featured on their email blast, on their Instagram account. And the only issue with that is that if you do have your main photo with a logo of your brand, you won't be picked for feature stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only downside, because they ultimately they don't want to be promoting, I guess, your brand on their Instagram account if your logo's on your picture. However, are you allowed to brand yourself? Of course. And I actually do always recommend to do so, because ultimately what you want, even though you're using Etsy as the platform to kind of get started, even if you're using it now and eventually you want your own website and you sell your products there as well, ultimately what you want is people to remember you as a brand. And when you're in the feed and your picture is competing to the picture next to it, sometimes just having your logo makes that big difference, that they'll remember who you are.
Mm-hmm.
If not, your picture gets lost with every other picture. And unless you're like really, really popular on Etsy, people won't remember you. So branding and having the same aesthetic, so people, if they see your photo, they're like, oh, that's from that girl Nancy. Do you want them to recognize your brand? Because once you build a brand, then you could charge premium prices. So if you're selling jewelry for $8 a piece right now because you're just starting, as a brand, you could actually charge the same piece like $60 if you wanted to,
Mm-hmm.
especially once you have the clientele. So branding is essential for sure. It will help you build a memorable brand, and that's what you want.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Miss Nancy, for being on the show, sharing these tips. I hope you guys listen in and got a whole bunch of tips that y'all can use in order for y'all to create digital products to sell on Etsy. Because right now is the time to do so. So, Miss Nancy, tell us how we can get in contact with you, and I'm going to share your social media handles.
Okay, no problem. Yeah. Guys, if you have any questions or want to, feel free to contact me. I think the best one is through my blog at nancybadillo.com. However, feel free to reach out to me on any of these platforms, on your favorite platform, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you guys have about digital products or just Etsy in general. I'll be more than happy to assist.
Awesome. And if you guys want to get in contact with me, my number is 910-317-0396. You can email me at contact@mjfinancial.biz. You can schedule a consultation on the website, www.mjfinancial.biz. And you can find this episode on Anchor, you guys, and you can find the playback for this video on the YouTube channel for M&J Financial Management. So thank you once again, Miss Nancy, for being on the show. I highly appreciate you and your tips.
You are so welcome. Thank you for having me. It was an honor.
All righty, and you're so welcome. And all right, guys, we will see you on the next episode of Tips with T.